by Daniel Kuna is the best.
He's pretty good.
I have him.
I wouldn't put him in the top 20 though.
I went with the early kind of Bronze Age DC layout, the framed look.
Wait a sec. You're telling me Icarus' power really does? He shoots light from his eyes.
Yeah, he's like Superman except no cape. We'll get into that and more in this episode of Pop Culture Clobberin Time.
Oh yeah.
I was just going to talk about my shopping list.
I'm Jay Hood. This is Coach Vic.
Wait, I'm on the wrong show. Who are you people? I'm Alternate Reality Alan. ARL. That's what they call me because I got my goatee kind of beard and I got my evil beard.
You got the evil beard.
That's what Icarus needed. He needed a goatee, the evil goatee.
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Spoilers. If you haven't seen, what's the movie called?
Eternals.
The Turtles, as we discussed earlier. The Turtles.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, don't watch this show because we're going to spoil it. Because that's the only way I know how to talk about movies is spoiling them.
Cool. Let's shout out the early birds here in the chat. We had C. James, also known as, what did he go by when we did the show?
Mr. something.
Mr. Fantastic Cheesehead or something like that.
Yeah, the Fantastic Mr. Cheese.
That's the good to see you, Pete. And we've got Discovery Bay. Thanks for joining us, letting us know our audio and video is good. That's excellent because
just go.
I got I've got a new computer coming, and I have a feeling it's coming just in time. So next time,
what he's saying is the warranty on this computer.
Can you hear me?
Tonight at midnight.
You look clear on our end, but
maybe he's talking about his volume.
My volume bad, or is it just my face?
Let's see if I can hit mic settings and no, I got nothing.
It'll happen in about 20 minutes.
You're not freezing or anything on our end, so
no, you look good.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Use a little manicure, a little touch up, like me.
So
I just shaved my neck beard off. I can't help it. I'm Fred Flintstone over here, man. It just comes out.
As you could tell from our fancy new thumbnail layout, we are Pop Culture Clobberin Time. This is a show where we take an hour out of our week to kind of talk about some of the hot things that are going on in pop culture, comic books, toys, collectibles, movies, TV, sports. Not sports.
Yeah, I tried.
No, really pitch it there, Jamie. Really say, yeah, we take an hour out of our week, stretch it out of our week. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I've got pop-up notices to connect my freaking phone. Probably had a Windows update this week, is what it was.
Oh, blame it on the Windows.
Ben Compton, good to see you this morning. Thanks for coming.
Straight out of Compton.
Born and raised.
So we've got like I don't want to say a 3-part episode today, but we've definitely got 2 distinct parts. And I think we're going to start out with our thoughts on Eternals. And this is a spoiler-filled review. So if you have not seen it, or if you don't want it to be spoiled, if you don't want to hear a serious opinion on whether it was good or bad, then come back in about a half hour.
Or you can just listen to my takes, because I watched the movie twice.
Whoa!
And I fell asleep.
You didn't see that movie twice. You've seen it 1.5.
I paid for it twice.
You didn't, dude. Oh, wait a minute. You probably fell asleep the second time, too. So if you combine the 2 parts, you might have seen it once.
I don't know. Okay, so here's how it went. Okay, I get a text from Al. And it's like, you ready to watch paint dry? I'm like, come on, it's Marvel. It's gonna be entertaining. We get in, we're in the theater, we watch a half hour of previews.
That's all it was?
Yeah. And Victor turns to me, he's like, I gotta be done with these previews. And before the credits were over, my boy was
before the credits. I can't wait to say anything happened yet.
Oh,
I thought there were black people in this movie.
there's one, well, there's a couple, but they didn't show up to like the third act. So okay.
Get serious, guys.
I think this is the epitome of this movie. Not just that your like internal clock's a little bit messed up, but this movie is boring. Do all three of us agree? The one word we can say to summarize this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, here I consider it artsy fartsy. Like the director really wanted to make like this, like movie, you know. And God bless her. You can't do that. It's a different movie. I'll tell you. I was waiting for the Eternals to pop up. You know, it was unbelievable. I was waiting for them to pop up, but I was waiting for something to happen. I told my friends outside of YouTube, because I do have other friends. It's like waiting for paint to dry, and it never does. And then when something happens, you're like, wait a minute, is it going to dry yet? And it never does. It just keeps going and going and going. And you're like, okay, so first off, too many flashbacks. Okay. Flashback. Some solid.
Every time I woke up, it was a different era.
Yeah. And then sometimes they do not, like, I don't know, a couple of times they are like, okay, this is what year it is. And then a couple of times they just come into the thing, and then like in the middle of it, you're like, wait, is this follow? Is this connected? No, this is behind that. And then it's all timey-wimey, you know, which I don't mind if you do it right. Like, make it a different color or something. Like, it's a memory. I think they fumbled the ball on this. And and at the end, when it says the Eternals will return, I'm like, please don't. Please don't.
Oh,
I'd say that part. Yeah. You were probably like sleeping in the credits too. The most exciting thing, which really wasn't too exciting, was the end cap. One of the end caps when, you know, but we should probably describe the movie, and then before
we're not going to give the play-by-play.
Yeah, I'll give you a play-by-play.
So
it starts off with, I love Pink Floyd, but when you start off with a Pink Floyd song, you know you're ready to just chill out, right? You're just chilling. You're not jamming. It's not like AC/DC came in. It's not like anything is going to boost you. Like, yeah,
it's at the right stage. I mean, that song came out on, and I'm like, okay, yeah, Marvel's picked another great soundtrack for this movie, and let's see how they build on just this one kind of cue that they're starting with. And other than the time travel thing, I'm like, there's no connection.
I know what this movie is. It's Marvel's answer to the DC movie, Justice League, because it felt like the Whedon Justice League, and I was just like, man, I ain't got time to watch this again. I haven't watched the Whedon Justice League again since I seen it in theaters, but I just did actually. But it was called Eternal. So they suckered me into watching it again.
I've only seen it. I've only seen the Justice League once, like during a holiday get together thing where I was like half able to pay attention to it. So I've never even like sat through the whole thing. I'm intrigued to see the Snyder cut, but I don't have HBO Max, and I'm not out in a rush to get it.
Well, I'll just tell you, I'm going off of the theatrical movie, and it pretty much started with like, didn't it like start with like Wonder Woman stopping something at a, you know, she's a curator of a museum and stuff.
Yeah,
Cersei was Wonder Woman. Icarus, of course, was Superman type of thing, even though Superman doesn't show up halfway through. But spoiler alert, he is Superman because he turns evil in the damn. I seen it coming a mile away. This dude shows up out of nowhere stalking his ex-girlfriend. And you're like, oh, what's he doing in town? He just happens to be here. You know he's bad when that happens. You know, okay, so Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Let's get to casting real quick.
Okay.
They cast the wrong dude for Icarus. That dude was bland, man. That guy was so milquetoast. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was so unbelievable.
Okay, so let's start here, just with the characters in general. I mean, I've got the comic books.
Put those away. You got to get the Neil Gaiman or the other stuff.
What could if you were to describe Icarus as a character, how would you describe him?
Kind of like I wouldn't say knockoff Thor, but he was, you know what I mean?
Well, okay, describe any of the characters. Do any of them have
in
any
the movie or in the comic book?
In the comics.
I would describe Icarus as a poor man Superboy.
Yeah, he in the comic book, yeah, he was like a Ryan type thing without the anger issues.
See,
all it was like a.
To me, the characters in the comics really have no personality. Marvel movies in general, when that happens, they deliver a character with a lot of personality. And what you're saying is totally correct when it comes to Icarus. They totally missed the boat on that casting.
Yeah, it's all about good point. It's all about the casting. When you have a character that could be bland, if you get bland man number 12, you're gonna get bland man number 12. Okay, there's gonna be something exciting. I would have been, hey man, give me something crazy. Man, what's Idris Elba doing? Get him in there. We don't need some like white British dude. If you're just gonna do this, because Elba does all the bad guy roles now. Like in Star Trek Beyond, spoiler alert, he's in there and all of a sudden, hey, I'm the bad guy. So you shouldn't have done that. But what I wanted to see was they should have started and made me like Icarus before they turned him, because he just, tell you the truth, he just got interesting after they beat him and he joined with them and did this other stuff. He just got interesting, and then he flies into the sun or towards the sun. We don't know. Spoiler alert.
I guess you're right, because the first time we see him, like you said, is he's stalking his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah,
and then nobody ever likes that character.
This is the thing. I don't want to make it about skin color or race or whatever. It's just because he's the boring white dude, okay? And they're like, well, let's bring it in on Cersei. She's different, and this and this and this. When it should have been, they had no chemistry. I don't know why they took no chemistry. You would have been better off putting the guy that played Black Knight as Icarus. It seemed like they had some type of chemistry, even though she seemed kind of cardboard to me a bit. Just go, oh, what am I doing here? That's what I felt from her. Like, I'm main guy. Why are you guys filming me? Oh, I'm in a movie. Is she in any other movies? I don't know.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of movies. Wasn't she in Westworld? Wasn't she the girl in Westworld? I never watched that either.
That's a TV show.
She wasn't in Westworld, was she? No.
She was in some streaming show.
It wasn't Westworld. Here's the thing. I have no qualms about any of the other casting.
She was also Elektra in the Daredevil show.
Was she? No, she wasn't.
That's what I heard.
Wow. Why would you get her? She was bland in that. She was not Elektra. Man,
all right, so let's turn this from the characters that failed. Were there any characters that stood out that were like that was kind of interesting, or at least intrigued enough to keep my attention to want to know more?
The one dude, the Bollywood guy, he was kind of fun.
Kamaji or something like that.
Yeah, he was kind of fun. The only problem I had is that they didn't know what the movie was gonna be. I feel like they were like, no, it's got to be this. And when they put in if you're gonna bring a reality show stuff into it, why don't you just do that? Just go ahead and do that and make it where, hey, these are the Eternals guys. And then I like the fact that he didn't help. He was just he just
stage left, exit stage left.
Yeah, he took off at the end because he didn't believe in what they were fighting. He was ready to die, or he was ready for Earth to die, which was more interesting. Follow him and follow his buddy, and then maybe have it where he like, you know what? I like you. I actually like you. I'm going to go back and fight for you. They didn't do that. They just like, I'm out. See you later. They didn't ever show any reason for Sprite. She just emo all the time, man. I just like, I don't even know if she's supposed to have if she had a gender. I don't know if she had a gender at all.
I mean, she had a crush on Icarus.
I know. I don't mean anything.
I think they did that on purpose. I think they're trying to appeal to a crowd there.
I liked her, but she was just so like, hey, I'm not likable at all. So most of these characters were not likable.
So, you know who I really like? The one guy who got killed earlier. He's
Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, the guy that was protecting Athena. Okay.
Yeah.
You should have. I would have rather followed them. That was a more interesting. That would have been more like Old Man Logan and like him protecting Professor X, and they're hanging out because she's. This is another thing, bro. They didn't have to put. It's another thing. The two main characters in the comic was I remember with Athena and Icarus, right?
I always remembered Makari. Of his helmet.
Right.
He was the most visually interesting.
I loved her and Droog. I thought they were great.
Droog was good.
They were great. I thought, but when the main linchpin is Cersei and Icarus, you're just like, you guys, no, they just didn't mesh to me. I didn't think.
I mean, Cersei went on to be in the Avengers, so I can see where Marvel's like, okay, we got to build this character up because we're going to put her in an Avengers team later on.
I always thought she was a hoochie, and she was pretty hoochie in those comic books.
I skipped that era of Avengers books, so I don't know.
She was like all over everybody, man. So I don't know.
So let's go back and talk about Droog a little bit because I think he's one of the characters I think stood out. I think he was kind of hard to read, just in his kind of stoic nature of like which side he was ultimately going to land on, and he kind of went back and forth a little bit through the whole thing. I think that was his portrayal of that character. Of any of them, he put the actor put the most into that character for sure.
I felt that they did that to twist your expectations that he was going to be the bad guy, and it ended up. But I don't think there was enough back and forth between him and Icarus because Icarus was just so bland and in a corner, like. I think it would have been more interesting. You start out with Icarus being like, "Oh, this is Icarus's movie," and then he finds out. Or have like him like the hero and all the stuff, and then like he disappeared, and then it's like, "Oh, what happened to Icarus?" And then he comes back, and then you find out that he found out that it's going to be the end of the world, and he just didn't want to have him love humans. Okay, have him love and like, I love humans, they're the best. And then he finds out that this place is going to be tore down at the end of the month. They get an eviction notice. Then he like has to go away, and then like, you know what? I'm for it. Let's do it. So when at the end, when he's doing the whole like, this has got to happen, bro. I want off this planet. It would be such a what is that? 180 or it's a difference. So he would just be like, no, I'm ready for it to be ended because I've suffered through the loss of people, He'd been like a Highlander that like lost a bunch of people, and he's like, all right, I don't care anymore because I don't know these new people are rats, That would have been way more interesting than like, I'm gone. Oh, I'm back for my girlfriend. Oh, and I have no sorry. You want to complain about Chris Evans as Captain America, pal? You better like, hey, Icarus, this dude could have been Cap, and then you could have had like, I'm Captain America. No.
So what about Athena? I thought her story arc was kind of interesting. The fact that she was kind of the Wolverine character in my opinion.
Yeah, she was definitely, but she was a muted character as well. They had to like depower her, or maybe Angela didn't want to be in too much of it, but she ended up being a whole bunch. I think that was the best thing. That was the most interesting thing, I guess, they could have done with that character, because they took out the what was his name? He's the bad guys, the crappy like claymation, the deviants.
The deviants. Oh, let's
talk. I think his name's Crow or something.
Can I get a production designer that can create good creatures these days?
No, the 80s is done, man.
They all look the same.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the fact that they made the Eternals, they're all like kind of like humanoid robot things. So they don't
never really actually said if they're organic or not even.
Yeah, it just made them seem like they were Vision. They had the Vision bodies or something. But then at the end, spoiler alert, when Star Fox comes out, so then he is a robot too, or he's supposed to be from Olympus or Olympia or wherever they're from.
He's a Titan or something like that. He's Thanos' brother.
Right. But he's also an Eternal.
Yeah.
He's also an Eternal, along with Zurus and all these guys that were the basis for Greek gods and Roman gods and all that stuff. But so are they all robots? Are they all kind of robot-y creatures?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both playing that in the boring sequel.
But there's no way they're keeping him for movies in the future, though, right?
Who?
Eros.
Eros, yeah.
Really?
I mean, the character doesn't pop up at the end of a movie and you don't see him again.
Yeah, but it's Harry Styles.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got someone against Harry Styles?
No, no Ed Sheeran.
See, kids Vic age are all crazy about Harry Styles. Us old guys, we don't even know.
Yeah,
who Harry Styles is.
Then yeah,
it's like, there's someone that looks like Mick Jagger, kind of. Okay, yeah. I don't know. It was interesting what they were doing. But like, it's still, to me, it seemed like what's put baby in a corner because we want to focus on Cersei and her love triangle, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they wanted. They wanted that story to be. I would have took any other characters besides those characters. Like another thing, and they made them those 12. But I remember
Mars comic.
Keep on. I mean, I would have rather seen it. I don't know if this didn't work really as a heist film either, where we got to get the band back together. And I like when, spoiler alert, I keep saying this, when they find Ajax, which is what's her name, Selma Hayek. How can I forget Selma? I can't. Anyways, yeah. They just find her and she's just like, oh, there she is, laying out in the grass, outside, and they're like, do, you know. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back in time to when they when the first trailer came out, and then the second trailer came out. Mm-hmm. I think the trailer was an accurate portrayal of what this movie ended up to be, where we were like looking for little strings of hope that this was going to be good. And the trailer basically showed us that, what you're seeing in this trailer, you're not going to get much better on screen.
You know what's funny? Now that I think about it, because like I said, I knew Kit Harington was in the movie. Okay, watched Game of Thrones, all of it. I was looking forward to Kit Harington being. So even in the trailers, I was like, that must be Kit Harington, right? Because why are they going to put him in the movie if they're not going to make him the star of the movie? And I was just like, and then like once the movie starts, like, oh, that's not him. Like, no, when I saw him, I was like, oh, he must turn blonde or something later, right? And then the boyfriend, I'm like, oh, what's Kit Harington going to do? I kept waiting for a superpower. I wanted to see Kit Harington do something in the movie.
I mean, he was probably the most high-profile actor cast in the movie, and yeah, you saw the least amount of him.
I think. Man, yeah, Kit Harington. He's the Black Knight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Yeah, I knew he wasn't gonna. I thought maybe he would have been a tag along. They could have had him there instead of the Bollywood guy. Like
I
he
thought
should have been like, "What's going on?"
I thought they would have created him as the Black Knight character, introduced him as the Black Knight character.
Oh, they did.
Somewhere along in the movie. I mean,
Yeah,
why put it off till later?
He was hanging out with Bollywood guy when he disappeared, and he was like, "I can't be a part of this. I'm gonna go hang out with Dane Whitman." You know. Zoop! I don't know.
All right, so I know I'm skipping way past this movie to the next movie, like in 8 years. But so, do the Black Knight and Blade have something in common?
No, that's all movie, man. I think they're doing like a Dark Avengers. I think that's what it's gonna be. I think Blade's gonna get all these guys together. He's got, I guess Black Knight, since they gave him the ebony blade, and it's gonna be, and then maybe they'll bust out Man-Thing. That'd be cool.
So hold on, for the people,
he was in Shang-Chi.
For the people that haven't heard this kind of rumor or speculation, is that the voice at the end of the movie, at the last, after the credit scene, where Kit Harington's looking at the blade, or the ebony blade, that the voice you hear is Blade. That's the speculation, right?
Speculation. I read an interview from Mahershala Ali talking about it.
There you go.
Oh, I said it before. You totally bounced on it, Vic. You totally
That's gonna sound like Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, well,
maybe I just want Nick Fury back.
So
you're right.
So if you're right, Al, so then we've got Blade forming a team of super people, and then we've also got
the girl from Seinfeld.
What's her name from Seinfeld? Also putting together a team. I'm not saying that that's crazy or odd, but
who's putting together the Thunderbirds?
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
That would be her, I think.
Okay.
Oh, Thunderbirds.
I love the Thunderbirds.
Let's not jump the gun. Let's just say that Blade's gonna hang out with Dane Whitman and make him the Black Knight and stuff. He has to, because he has to be like, hey, you can use the Black Knight name now, because But let's wrap the Eternals bow. I thought they were going for 2001: A Space Odyssey. They were going too much into that. I love Stanley Kubrick, but I'm not gonna watch a superhero movie done by Stanley Kubrick because it'll end up it'll be like Watchmen, I guess. But that's what they were going for, and you did it. It just I don't want to watch it again, and I don't care about any of these characters. So I mean, I'm sure people love this movie. I've heard people love this movie because it's one of those. Maybe it's too intellectual for me. Maybe I just like big explosions.
I don't think it is. I think it's just badly written.
Well, it had 80% on Rotten Tomatoes from the audience viewers for a while.
Well, there is also a problem with people. There are a lot of marks out there. Okay, by marks I mean people that'll eat anything up. They're like, "Oh, I really like that. Did you? Yeah, it's Marvel." I love Marvel, and I even said when we were killing it. Yeah, exactly. Just like, oh, she's just laying there, and then I don't know. I think villains were lame because we need to find a new creature, because everything is like, oh, that's the new, we need new monsters. We don't have any good monsters. They're all overly CGI. Icarus he just got excited to me. I would have loved when because he was like, no, I don't want to do this. And then he helps him. And then he's like, yeah, I killed Ajax. Like, have him roam, like, live with that, dude. Like, go live with that. Now, if he comes back, if he's not dead and he comes back, and cool. But I think the idea of living with somebody or existing with somebody, like Cain. Came from the Bible. You're like, I know what you did, and like, how do you live with that? That's interesting to me. The dude's still boring. Athena, she was just like, I'm here, and I'm like gonna, she should have been something more, I guess. But Angela Jolie. No one's there to see her.
Good to see a Legion of Comics.
Well, I have a question for both of you then. I read an article. Okay, I read a headline. It was either Chloe Zhao or Kevin Feige said that this is a love letter to Jack Kirby. This movie.
Don't make me run my head into a wall.
It's
okay.
The colors are so muted. Okay, so when it comes, I don't want to get back on my Jack Kirby.
They want to act like Jack Kirby invented the circle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Can we get another circle in this movie?
Dude, you understand how alien these dudes would have looked if they would have had like Kirby style outfits and Kirby color. Give me anybody that had dark hair. You've seen Skyfall, right? You've seen the bad guy with Skyfall in it. The dude they blonded his hair and he looked kind of like, well, that dude looks interesting. Give me a Ric Flair looking dude for Icarus, man.
Right, exactly.
Like, I don't care about like Captain America's hair being like dirty blonde or whatever, but this dude's gotta be, and this is what I was saying to everybody. They have to look like they would inspire gods. Okay? These guys do not inspire gods at all. Give me god-looking characters for this, like, we're gods. Oh, this is like looking at a painting of people. Oh, isn't it so majestic? It's not majestic. It's pretentious. And I mean, yeah, you can love the movie. Please love the movie because there might be a billion things great that come from it. But
let's see what Gore Vidal's got to say. Good to see you this morning, Gore. Kirby's Eternals, New Gods, and 2001 comics were in the tradition of great science fiction that he likely read in films like 2001: Space Odyssey. Hollywood unlikely to make films like that again. It's a shame. To me, Hollywood is creatively bankrupt.
Yeah, they've been bankrupt. Here, Gore brings up a good. Well, he just mentions the 2001 comic that he did. He did the adaptation, but look what he did with it. He didn't do, hey, this is like Stanley Kubrick stuff. He went crazy with that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your difference. They make a Stanley Kubrick 2001 ripoff for the Eternals, right? And it's boring and bland and looks like someone got sand all over the camera. Jack Kirby makes a 2001 jobby comic book in the 70s, and it's like, whoa, who's this? Machine Man? What's this about? Who's over here? This is great. Look at the artwork. And it's not, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's your, hey, this is a Kirby inspired. You're like, no. It's not. You can't have bland colors and this looks like a movie that would be drawn with thin lines and just like everything's sleek.
You know what this is? It's the difference between Jack Kirby being inked by Joe Sinnott and Jack Kirby being inked by what's his name? Oh man, the name's slipping me. The inked Thor that everybody hates.
Hey, you ain't. I'm fine.
Rob Liefeld?
No.
Hey,
can't bring that up, man.
Everybody hates.
Gore Vidal might remember. I'm not sure if anyone else is that old timey enough like me to remember. Crap, I've got a stack of notes here. It's in there. Anyway,
wrap up the Eternals.
So the one. Okay, so my last thing on Eternals is the Eternal Optimist. No pun intended. In me says, I'm intrigued by what's going to happen with the giants, with the
Celestials.
The Celestials.
The Sexuals. No.
Man Cave. Who is Jack Kirby's inker on Thor? The guy, the inker everybody loves to hate. Good to see Man Cave, by the way.
Good morning, Man Cave.
But I will say this. I love the ending part where the Celestials coming up and they stop it. And then you find that actually the Celestial kind of helped them stop him by because they all became one. And that made you think oh, wait a minute. So everybody would have went into all the humans and everything would have went into the Celestial and they still would have been alive. So it was almost kind of like maybe we should have let this happen. It was kind of like we stopped the rapture almost. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Mhm.
oh, we're all gonna be in this place.
Really?
It's gonna be, you know what I mean? So in
Yeah.
the end,
Is
it's
it
kind of
Roy?
like, oh,
No.
we stopped our ascension to heaven, type of thing. So
So I'm
that
going.
was interesting.
Are you telling me I'm going to have to try to watch this movie a third time?
No, it's all subtext. It's all under the.
That's it.
What I'm looking forward to is how they're gonna. They're gonna have to have this creature, the celestial, hanging outside, and like how it messed up the ecosystem, and what's Namor gonna do when he pops up. I believe he's gonna be in Black Panther 2, and yeah, I think the ripples from this big turd that got dropped into the stool is going to be more exciting than, it's like, ooh, but I do not want them to put Kirby's name on this anywhere, because it's like, oh, that's like a Kirby. Well, Kirby was like that. No. Don't give me that stuff.
I'm
You're
still waiting to see
the good man's name.
I'm still waiting to see Kirby Crackle on screen. Can I get a Kirby Crackle?
Well, What If had it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's animated. I want to see what it looks like in real life.
All right. Speaking of ripples, Kirby Crackle, let's get to Disney Plus.
I'm going to say, speaking of What If.
Okay, so let's change our banner here.
Yeah. Oh, we had a banner.
The runner. Hey, everybody. Man Cave didn't say hi to me. Fine. Anyway.
Don't hate on Man Cave. He's a busy man. He took time out of his busy schedule to join us this morning.
All right, so Disney Plus Day. I've been thinking about this. It's all my fault. I was so disappointed by the little pittance of announcements that we got yesterday, and I have no one to blame but myself.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a much bigger thing than it was. I think I watched too much YouTube, which got me too excited about it. One channel in particular, Lords of the Long Box, I watched that channel three times a week, and they overpromised. Let's just say that they didn't promise anything. In my mind, everything they said was going to happen to be true, but it wasn't.
The two words I hate more than anything: coming soon. Followed closely by coming in 2023. Why do I need to know about something coming 8 years from now?
Mm-hmm. So what new stuff did they announce yesterday? I mean, okay, okay.
You know where I'm going.
I get myself worked up.
Besides Ironheart, what else did they talk about?
Well, Ironheart has been announced before, right?
Yeah, they announced Ironheart the last Disney day.
That's the thing. You get logo. That's what you get. Good morning, Varangian Vigilante.
That's what he wants to talk about.
Now, they did break down. I did watch something where they broke down the Ironheart logo. I'm like, really? I don't need all this. There's rivets in the Ironheart, so it's going to give you an idea of her. Hopefully, we get to see of her pounding out her what do you call that thing? Her outfit.
Her armor.
Yeah, her armor, like Iron Man was, and Tony Stark was in Iron Man. I'm like,
Legion of Comics, we did not get trailers of either of those. You got literally like 20 seconds of.
You got Moon Knight and She-Hulk.
There were more teasers.
They're still filming them, man.
20 seconds of She-Hulk footage.
All right, let's start with those two. Let's talk about those. Which one do you want to start with, She-Hulk or Moon Knight?
Well, let's start with She-Hulk, because I think Tatiana Maslany, I think her name is amazing. If you haven't seen Orphan Black, see it. She plays 18 characters, all her.
That is one of the best shows ever created for TV, in my opinion.
Yes. So I'm excited about her playing She-Hulk. And she looked good, swole and regular.
In like the one panning shot.
There's a picture of her in her outfit, but
it was a panning shot. And you didn't get a feel for how are they doing this? There was no sense of scale.
I feel teased. That's what leads. I think She-Hulk's my least expect. I'm kind of like, that's probably going to be something that I'll need to see a little bit more on, because it's like, it's so funny because they like zoom in on her butt and then they zoom up, and it's just, then they don't show her face. So that's the epitome of, I wonder if they're going on that, like, oh, you think she's going to be a sex object, but no. If you can't show the lady's face, that's like disrespectful to me. I wonder if they're doing that on purpose. And then, like, you talking about watching YouTubers, I watched one, and then every time he talked about her, he would just like show the butt shot. To me, those calves look kind of tiny. They still gave her legs that were too. They were not. They need to thicken her up a bit, because I like thick girls.
See, that's what I'm saying. I didn't get a good sense of scale to know like what level of swole she's going to be.
But I have a question for both of y'all. In the comic, is there ever a part where she is just a regular white chick?
Yeah,
because I know every time I see her walking around the streets or something, she's green.
Well, that's what they're doing in this. They're going to have that, right?
She went through a time when she couldn't change back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but
when she started off in Savage She-Hulk, she was like a Bruce Banner back and forth. But then she, said, hey, I'm cool with it. She's not going to be the angry person. She's happy with it. She likes being She-Hulk, at least in the comic book.
Well, it's going to be a comedy, so I'm looking forward to that aspect.
Most Marvel movies have a lot of comedy in it, so it's not really going to be a shocker. I mean, name one super Marvel movie that hasn't had like a,
Eternals.
I don't consider that a Marvel movie. I consider that a wannabe Kubrick. Like, I can watch The Shining over and over again and not be bored, right? But this movie is just like, anyway, let's go. Okay, so She-Hulk, the part where they showed, oh, sorry.
No good.
Where they showed him, they were like set in the 70s show. Like, don't make me angry. I got a kick out of that, but I wonder where that's going to come in. Is that like maybe she's doing a commercial for her office or something? I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
That'd be great. Instead of the pit bull, should just be the Hulk.
Yeah.
So we did get a better look at Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Which looks like a crazy Batman, which that's kind of what Moon Knight is. But
it looked like the new Batman when he was hunched over and he was punching that guy. I'm vengeance, because I'm not down with that Batman movie. I'm getting tired of emo Batman already. This
shoot him in the face. That's all I keep saying.
You know how many years that's been said. People just threw him in the face. I'm sure it's been in a comic book somewhere. Anyway. No. That's what I was saying, right? I was just, I'm vengeance. It just looked like that. Maybe it's me. I liked how he was very whiny. He was kind of like, oh, I don't know what I'm, so it's going to be a very different secret identity. It's not going to be your everyday, like, hi, I'm Moon Knight, You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's going to be, I think it's going to be interesting in that. One thing I did notice about all these trailers, they need some more spit and polish on there, because they were looking like, hey, we just process these and they're not done. It's like looking at film that hasn't been cured yet.
I think that's one of the things I'm a little bit mad about, the fact that these shows are going to be starting in like 2 months and they're not showing us a full-blown trailer at this point.
Apparently She-Hulk is even done with post-production and they couldn't even give us a trailer.
To Disney's defense, their D23 is scheduled for, I think, January. So I'm guessing they're holding out everything to start showing then.
I'd rather have them wait and have something that's going to make me go, yeah, those looks good, as opposed to like, that looks.
Yeah, they got enough on these shows.
Yeah,
especially
just
on
have
Moon
her
Knight
with like
and She-Hulk.
with the green balls or whatever they have for the suits. That'd be even better. Like, and then it says special effects go here. Like, I would like to see that.
So the other shows they showed logos for were what we got: Ironheart, Echo. Have they? Is that news to us?
I think Echo's new.
Okay, so that was one of the things that's brand new.
Well, we'll learn. I guess Echo's going to be. It's in Hawkeye. I think that's what I heard.
That's
she's a character in the Hawkeye TV show.
Okay, that would make sense. You're getting the Return of Agatha,
House of Harkness.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be fun. I look forward to that. Look forward to that. What I don't look forward to, Marvel Zombies.
It's a cartoon though.
Is it gonna be the same as What If?
Yeah.
Because I like the What If, but I didn't like the animation too much.
They could. I don't think. Well, on a big screen budget, they could do Marvel Zombies. I don't think they can do it on a streaming live action show.
Yeah, because Walking Dead isn't on TV.
Secret Invasion they're doing, and I think they mentioned this before too. To me, that we have to have a lot more heroes involved in the streaming shows in order to do a good Secret Invasion. Just because the whole thing is based on the fact that Skrulls are replacing heroes. So,
oh, that's one thing I heard is that the cameraman for Eternals was a Skrull.
Okay,
I don't know what that means really.
The Skrulls were the green dudes in Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, I know who they are.
What's
I mean,
Nick
Fury was a Skrull. Yeah.
You know who's gonna end up? Yeah, Shuri's gonna be a Skrull in Black Panther 2.
If they ever make it.
Never finish.
I heard rumor is that I forgot what his name was, but they're gonna have a
M'Baku.
Huh?
M'Baku.
Yeah, they're gonna have him
the man ape.
They're gonna have him be the new Black Panther.
By the way, I bet you $1 they don't call him the man ape in the movie.
Oh no, that would be horrible.
Gore was made a comment a little bit ago about the prices of comics going up based on some of these rumors. And man, price on this book is insane. This is the first appearance of Echo.
Yeah.
But like it's $1,000 book and a 9.8.
Really?
Yeah. So don't touch it.
I was just gonna move it back to the back. I'm gonna move it out the way.
Okay, go ahead. I got the Ironheart keys in here too. So these will be in my ship off to CGC.
I was real close to having this taken off of them until he decided to look it up and see how much it was worth.
Mm-hmm. True facts.
Okay, so we had old Nick Fury. He looked I think that was Samuel Jackson. Can we get rid of this damn eye patch?
He didn't have an eye patch.
An eye again?
He didn't have an eye patch.
I know, that's what I said.
Oh.
That's what I meant. So that's what that was. Is like, can we get rid of this eye patch? Follow along, Vic. It's okay.
You know me. I was Short Bus All-Star.
All right. And, let's see.
He's been sleeping again. They're what I'm saying.
Yep.
There you go.
So I need to get my first print graded?
Yes. So
did you give him the first print of Ironheart?
No, I bought that on my own.
I gave him the first Shuri, which is
big boy purchase.
I bought it a long time ago before there was even any TV show.
I probably did too. I probably used it as a coaster though.
I bought the first Shuri for 40 cents out of the long box of the comic show.
Oh, you gave me a 40 cent. You gave me a gift you spent 40 cents on.
Yeah. And now it's $1,000 book.
Emo Phantom.
All right. So,
well, are we going to talk about the other good stuff that came out with Disney Plus Day though?
Like what?
Like Sneakerella.
No, we're not going to talk about
Will Smith Around the World.
We can talk
and that Chris Hemsworth TV show where it's like 5,000 ways for him to take off his shirt.
Isn't that a song? 1,000 Ways to Leave Your Lover. I think that's what it is.
We can talk about the fact that they showed us a minute worth of nothing on the Obi-Wan show. I'm bitter.
What do you want?
Ooh, and the reboot of the Proud Family.
Who?
All right.
Anyway, we'll figure it out one of these days.
All right. So last part of the show, I want to talk about something. I don't even know how to explain this, so I'm going to explain it. It's going to be a long story.
All right. Good night, everybody.
See if I can stay awake for this.
So something that has always been important to me in putting my time in doing just this hour-long YouTube show every week or every other week or however long is the fact that I want to bring some amount of knowledge or educational appeal to our shows. And I think we have had hits and misses on that along the way. But I've got something very specific that I want to start doing. And this goes all the way back to before I even started this channel. So years ago, there's a small comic book convention in our area. And I want to do a stand-up panel, like, educating people that aren't quite as knowledgeable on comics, just like the everyday people, to come in, and I would give them an hour-long speech on something about comics that would inform them on the history and, have make these connections between what they see in these Marvel and DC movies on screen and the original historical comic books that inspired them. So my project for that was, okay, I'm going to determine to the best of my ability who are the 4 most influential comic book artists of all time. And I'll do my speech on that and kind of explain what their work was, what their backgrounds were, what their influences were, and who they influenced and how they changed comic books forever after they did their work. And after I started digging into it, I found that, okay, I wrote 3 pages of notes on the first 2 people, Will Eisner. Well, not in any order. Will Eisner and Neil Adams. I got 3 pages of notes on each of those. And my notes on Jack Kirby were 9 pages long.
That's all.
Yeah. So I evolved that idea to, okay, I'm just going to do this presentation on Jack Kirby. And so I invited Al to tag along on that. We did the stand-up thing, had a slideshow and all that kind of stuff. And part of the reason why I had to just shift to that was because I couldn't figure out who the 4th person was. So like I said, it was in historical order, it would have been Will Eisner, Jack Kirby, Neil Adams, and then who else? So I ended up with a list of finalists that I was considering and landed on one, but I was never satisfied with the answer. So what we're going to do from time to time, it's not necessarily going to be every episode, but maybe 1 episode a month, we're going to focus on this, or for half an episode or whatever. But we're going to examine some of the greatest comic book artists of all time and just kind of give a real close look at some of their work and consider which of them deserves to be up on Mount Rushmore. So the Mount Rushmore of the most influential comic book artists. So the short list of finalists, Victor got so bored he left.
Well, it's better than falling asleep.
So the short list of finalists are Joe Shuster, co-creator of Superman, Steve Ditko, co-creator of Spider-Man, Joe Kubert, one of the biggest he's got a huge body of work, and he's an educator of the comic book art form. Alex Toth, who kind of specialized in refining comics down to kind of a minimalist kind of look. Frank Miller, because he did tons of excellent work. John Byrne, with a huge body of work that took up, the majority of 2 decades. And then Wally Wood, who many consider more of an inker, but he was a penciler as well. But he came up with some tools for comic book artists after him to follow. So those are kind of the finalists for who we're considering. These are the other names that kind of came to me as I was making this list. Jack Davis, who is more famous for doing Mad Magazine stuff, but he worked for EC back in the day. Bilson Cabbage. Nobody seriously put paint to paper before Bilson Cabbage came along, as far as comics goes. Frank Frozetta, again, more known for his painted work, but his comic book art is incredible. Los Brothers Hernandez, who created Love and Rockets. Mobius, who is a French comic book illustrator that specialized a lot in science fiction. Bernie Krigstein, who is also an EC artist that developed a lot of the tools that comic book artists use. Todd McFarlane. Harvey Kurtzman, another EC artist. Carl Barks, known for doing Uncle Scrooge comic books for Disney. Jim Lee, huge body work, and has been in comics for 40 years now, 30 years. Of course, other similar artists like Gil Kane, John Buscema, John Romita. Going back to the Golden Age, guys like Matt Baker were hugely.
What's John Romita?
Senior.
Oh.
Not that John Romita Jr. is bad.
You're getting invaded, Jamie.
What's that? Yeah, I need to get a
moderator.
I don't have a moderator in here, do I?
Is this guy's name really Mobius?
Yeah. All right, so Al, you can vamp on that while I go make somebody a moderator so you get rid of this dude.
Well, I'm biased. I'm pretty biased because I think when it comes to because the body work influential like of the 80s, you can't forget George Perez. I mean, did you mention George Perez at all?
I didn't, but he needs to be on there right next to John Byrne.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Come on, Jamie. You're slipping. You're too busy with webcams trying to satisfy your wishes.
So, I mean, this is one of the reasons I want to bring this up like on this channel is because I want help from our viewers, our consumers. If you think that we're missing somebody and you want to talk about them, either bring them to our attention and we'll talk about them, or you can come on and join us and we'll talk about them.
I have a question. Is Denny O'Neil an artist?
No, he's a writer.
Oh.
Wait, are we just doing artists? Or are we doing
Yeah.
Okay. We're not doing complete package like creator and artist. Like this is what they're what they bring. You didn't say Alan Davis, did you? I didn't hear my name.
No, but I think he was too inspired by other people for him.
Well, so John Byrne was too inspired by Neil Adams.
That's a discussion to have.
But here's the thing: how many people have aped Alan Davis's version of that? The clone of a clone of a clone. I mean, you look at Brian Hitch. He started off as an Alan Davis one. Dale Keown, that was an Alan Davisite. You know, there's a lot of guys that were straying through the Alan Davis.
Gore Vidal, you should be wrenched up if you can get rid of this webcam guy. Discovery Bay is also a moderator.
Anyways, yeah, Perez. I think Perez is. I mean, just the 80s. Him and Byrne in the 80s were just. That was it. That was it for me, really. They were probably the two guys that people, especially Byrne, it was just like, all right, just do this, and then we'll put you on a comic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. But how many different styles were there in the 80s, as opposed to the 90s, which just became a ape fest? You know, it just became like, hey, can you draw like Jim Lee? Can you draw like Todd McFarlane? Can you draw like Rob Liefeld? Could you do that? That's what it became. Norm Brayvogel, he's a completely different animal.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like him. He, even Greg Capello in his first years. Like his art style was mainly, it looked like something. I think he was on advertising, you know.
Mm-hmm.
These are the guys I like. Yeah, Alex Ross.
I was going to ask about Alex Ross. Does he count?
Yeah, he counts. So let's see what some of the suggestions are from the chat here. Mars Comics comes in with Frank Miller, Wally Wood. Yep, we mentioned him, and Mobius. Legion Comics. I'll make you a mod. Thank you. Yeah, Gene Gerard, Mobius.
Will I be able to find those later?
Reg is legendary. I love how he packs so much energy, so much into every image he can. Yeah, true facts, man. So that's the question right there. How can we pick? And
is Still Freeze not counting this group here?
He can be considered.
I'm just look. There's about artists that I know. Okay, I'm gonna mention them all. What about Bendis? Is he a writer?
He started out as a artist, but is also a writer.
Oh,
or is not a writer.
Or my personal favorite. You know who my personal favorite is, and I'm probably the only person that's gonna mention him in this group.
Who's that?
Scotty Young.
He's 90, yeah.
He's
influential too because his style is permeated. Like everybody like apes him. So I mean, if you're going now, yeah.
And that's kind of the thing. I tend to be like, the old
fogey
guy.
We're not young and hip like you, Vic. We don't like go with today's trends. We're talking about the old farts that we liked.
I mean, I've almost bought his book several times. His big book of all of his art.
Almost.
Sorry.
Yeah, look, Mars, pop up Mars. That answers Coach Vic there.
1 minute.
Coach, you got to get on the band. You got to figure out who's artists and who's writers. We got to teach Vic still.
And that's with a K, by the way.
Scotty Young is a hit or miss artist, and is he influential? I think he will influence the future, probably to a certain extent. I got other problems with Scotty Young,
except for he's money as a writer.
True. I wish they would give him the X-Men books.
That would be interesting. Strange Academy. For somebody came up with the idea of killing Doctor Strange.
Yep. So that's kind of the adventure we're going to go on to get to the bottom of this, to investigate some of these artists, and like I said, take a good close look at them.
And Jamie's goal is by the time we get through this, Scotty Young will be out of my top 10.
No, you can like him. There's nothing wrong with liking him.
No, you can't.
The key word in this is going to be influential. We've got a freight train of comic book art heading down the track, and who's the Superman that stands in the middle of the track that can make the train move a different direction?
So Rob Liefeld, definitely not.
Man, you got a lot of John Byrne books back there, don't you?
Yeah, this is all the John Byrne X-Men.
What about Dave Cockrum?
John Byrne, to me, is I've said this in other shows. I got burned out on John Byrne, no pun intended. But going back and looking at everything he did up through the 80s, I just can't get enough of it.
Yeah, he didn't make your list.
He's right there.
What about Alex Raymond?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's another thing. And we'll probably do the first discussion again of this. We'll talk about who's going to qualify, because guys like Alex Raymond were the bee's knees as far as comic newspaper strip artists.
Oh.
And a lot of these guys wanted to be him, but he was never seriously a comic book artist.
Comic strip. So all comic books were comic strips collected together and put in print. Yeah.
Like the guy who did Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. That's where we're going with this. So if, like I said, if anyone in the audience live stream in the live chat or watching after the fact, you want to leave a comment, let us know who you want us to talk about. Yeah.
Bernie Wrightson is not here.
Bernie Wrightson is not on that list. I thought about that this morning.
Yeah, you got this big old book back here.
We should probably take a look at Bernie Wrightson.
So you guys, you got any votes? Like, tell us who you really want, and also if you want to come on the show and fight with Coach Vic.
So Legion of Comics, we're going to do it on this Saturday morning show. So either we'll
wait, no, not this weekend. Not next weekend, but the weekend after. That's probably Thanksgiving, right?
Right. Yeah, we'll adjust the schedule to work around.
Well, Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. What you got going on Saturday?
It's the weekend.
All we're doing is making Thanksgiving sandwiches on Saturday.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking about Jamie. Okay, this guy.
Oh yeah.
If the wind blows a certain way, he can't do it because of something else. You know, he's got a family.
You got a big family too, so they're probably going all over the place.
Yeah.
Probably celebrate Thanksgiving for a week and a half.
Okay, so yeah, you're asking what specific date will be the next show. Get back to you. No. Al, do you have a problem doing it on the 27th? Because it's fine with me.
27th is a Saturday, right?
Right.
Yeah, I have no problem. I have no life.
All right. 27th. Be back here. We'll kind of cover some ground rules and.
I want a guest star. Someone's going to guest star. Going to come on here maybe, and. I
mean, I wanted to. I have to say this out loud because I can't contact him any other way. I wanted to reach out to Gore Vidal to see if he wanted to be in on this, to come on and talk about some of these artists. I know I respect him and his opinion and the fact, some of the stuff he drops here in chats in our show. I gotta admit, I put the Hernandez brothers on this because I know how influential they were, especially in the independent scene. And I've not read hardly any of their work. So I should preface all this by saying I am no expert and I want to learn as much from this as I want to share whatever knowledge I have. So
if you're not an expert, I can't imagine what an expert is.
They're out there.
So Legion of Comics, yes, the 27th. Same bat time, same bat channel. You've always wanted to say that, I know.
If Gore Vidal doesn't look like Salvador Dali, I'll be highly disappointed. or a John Waters.
I appreciate you being here and look forward to you bringing your opinions on some of the things we talk about.
Plus, that gives me more time to talk.
Yep.
Oh.
All right, so I think that's going to wrap us up for this episode of Pop Culture Clobberin' Time.
So, in case you missed it, we gave Eternals 2 thumbs up. We're not going to be the only idiots that pay for that movie.
Twice.
Twice.
Unbelievable.
I'll tell you though, those were 2 good naps I had.
I gotta say, I'm excited. I was excited to do this show this morning because of all the stuff that we're covering. We've been looking forward to talking about for a long time, and we've got the little traveling hotel show, comic book show that comes through town every once in a while is here today, and I get to go dig through long boxes.
Smell those stinky comics.
Yep. I've got a goal. I've got books I'm looking for. They're not expensive. I may not find them. But I look forward to just having the cathartic process of going through a bunch of old comics.
Just likes to hunt.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited because AEW Full Gear's on tonight. Yeah.
So I saw Comic Head 84 and D Runk were at a show last night. What show would have been recorded last night or aired?
Oh, Rampage? Were they at an AEW or were they at bums? They're probably going to go to the pay-per-view today too.
It could
This
be.
is in Minneapolis.
Okay, that makes sense. That's where D-Rock's at.
Yeah, I would imagine they
Oh
would
my
do both.
goodness. So excited for tonight. There's so many great lineup matches. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable.
But is what's the face going to keep his belt? They're going to take it from him.
Thanks, Marsh.
They're probably going to give it to Hangman. Hangman, he's been working 2 years for that thing. They'll probably drop it to him. But they got CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. That's going to be crazy, man. They just did one promo, and it's like, this is going to be the match of the night. You know, it's going to be crazy.
This makes me want to like buy this pay-per-view. I have no idea. I don't know none of the names you've mentioned, but
well, find out it's $50. You're not going to want to buy that. This is probably the most packed card. I don't know if you're probably like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Dude, the lineups on these things and the matches are going to be spectacular. They only do 4 shows, like big pay-per-views a year.
Mm-hmm. So
they got to pound them in, man. They're going to be like, all right, we're going to give you this, and this. Give us your money. And you're like, yes, here, take it. I'm like, just here, go ahead. This pay-per-view looks hot. And I'm
all right,
excited.
what time to start? I'll be over.
7:00. Bring nachos.
All right. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Again, leave your comments for any artists you want us to cover. Hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already. Share. Yeah. Talk about us, good or bad. And remember,
why don't you like us? Why don't you like us?
Yeah, nice house drops next week. Yep, they gotta get that 6th issue before they go on hiatus.
No, I can't do it.
We will see you next time.
My toys. No one ever asks me about my toys anymore.
Keep your priorities straight: faith, family, comic books, and toys. See you next time, guys.